While climate change has stolen the spotlight in many respects here in Davos, it's by no means the only issue under discussion. There's rising concern over geopolitical tensions, not least in the Middle East, and no country knows that better than Jordan. Well, I'm joined now by Prime Minister Dr. Omar Razaz, who's going to help us pick through some of the issues the country's facing. So Jordan is nestled in a region of volatility. You border Iraq, Israel, Syria. How does Jordan manage this?
Thank you, Isabel. It is a tough neighborhood, but we have managed. Not only have we managed to reduce the effect, but we've proven to be politically and economically resilient, and we've been growing. A huge part of it is the political institution, the stability that we have, the political stability that we have under His Majesty King Abdullah II. And we prepared a matrix, a 5-year matrix of actions that would allow us to minimize the negative effects and really use our youth to the best. We have very talented, highly skilled, educated youth, very high unemployment rates because we've just had a decade of refugees and crises and very high energy costs. So we do have a stock of problems, but we're moving in the right direction. In this matrix that we developed, we addressed issues of exports. We have the best FTAs around the world, and we're using those. Our exports are up around 8%. Our tourism is up around 9% because we have low-cost carriers taking advantage of Petra and Wadi Rum and the Dead Sea and all these wonderful. ICT is an incredible resource. It's growing at around 11 or 12% a year because we're doing business process outsourcing out of Jordan and providing opportunities. So the challenges are great, but we've figured out how to deal with it.
The challenges are great indeed, and as you say, you are facing. You're at the forefront of the refugee crisis, and your country has welcomed over 1 million refugees, and that's taken its toll. Do you feel let down by the international community? The burden has been tremendous. It's 1.3 million refugees. Around 20% of Jordan's population today is made up of refugees. So the impact on infrastructure, on schools, overcrowding, on health centers is tremendous. On jobs, the world has come to support Jordan, but not nearly to cover our costs. I understand there is always donor fatigue after the issue is no longer on the front page. That we understand. But the refugees are still there, and Jordan is living up to its commitment. We're not forcing anybody to go back. Out of 1.3 million, hardly 40,000 went back, and we don't want to be forcing women and children and young families to move back before security in Syria is completely guaranteed. So this is a global good. When this part of the world says we don't want refugees from other regions, we say, you have the right to do that, but then help countries in the region which are bearing the brunt of the cost. Help them make that functional and not hurt the national population. Fortunately, we have not had a single hate crime against our Syrian brethren, and this says something about Jordan and Jordanians, but we need support. We've seen that Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has made many threats when it comes to the European Union of opening the doors to the refugees. Would that be something Jordan would ever consider if it got to the situation where your country just couldn't cope anymore?
I don't think... the first thing that His Majesty the King said when we opened our doors, he said, we don't want a single refugee child left behind. We want to make sure they get the education and the health care that Jordanian citizens get. And that's what we've been doing day in and day out. I don't see that changing. It's a moral responsibility before being any political aspects. There is a moral. These are human beings. These are the future of the region. Syria is a neighboring country. They will rebuild Syria.
We want them to be healthy, smart, educated, and participate in the rebuilding of Syria. The last thing we want is angry, frustrated, uneducated youth who will become victims for extremism in the future. This is in nobody's interest.
Dr. Omar Razaz, Prime Minister of Jordan, thank you so much.
Thank you, Isabel.